Hey guys, how's it going? This is Adam Clay from Computer Science Teachers, and I'm coming to you with this video today to go over 10 things that your students need to know for this upcoming Computer Science AP exam next week. These are things that I pulled from the College Board's webinar and some things I've seen in the forums and even some things that were released yesterday. Okay, so here are the top 10 things that I pulled. Now, there's some links that are involved in here. If you need those links, they are going to be in, if you're on YouTube, they're in the videos. The links are right below that, or if you're on the blog, you can click on the link. So just look down, you should find those links. Okay, so here we go. Number one, the College Board just released an updated sample exam for our test with the 50-minute exam format. So you can share this with your students. Your students can practice using this. It has the 30-minute question and the 25-minute question, 5 minutes upload, 15-minute question, 5 minutes upload. It's the array list methods. It's an exact same format of what your students are going to be doing. So share this with your students. Have them practice. It also has an open-ended question. There's been a lot of questions. What are these open-ended questions? Well, the example is there. They have a part A, B, and C on question A on the first question, and C is the open-ended question. And on question 2, B is your open-ended question. So have your students check that out. Follow the link and give them that. Number 2, the College Board has released a demo that you can go to have your students practice. That's exactly the same of what they're going to be doing on the AP test. So you can go to it. It's at cb.org/AP demo. The links are below. Share this with your students. Have your students practice with this. The only difference is the time isn't going to be the same. Okay, it's not a full 50-minute exam. They shortened it, but your students can practice copying and pasting code. The students can practice uploading screenshots of handwritten code, and the students can practice uploading documents and submitting, and everything is there just like the test. So have them practice with that. By the way, this question came up. This is a freebie here. Only pictures of handwritten code. I've seen this question a lot. Only submit questions. The only pictures they can submit are handwritten code. They can copy and paste typed code. They can upload documents of typed code, but pictures of handwritten code, that's the only type of pictures you can submit. So submitting a screenshot of code will not pass. Okay, if you're writing and typing code, have them copy and paste or upload that. Okay. Number 3, all info about the exam can be found at cb.org/AP2020. This is a website that they've set up specifically with all this information, including a checklist your students need to fill out the day before the exam. So go check that out. Again, the link is below. Click on that. Go there. Number 4, students are going to receive an e-ticket by email, as well as being posted in their AP Classroom. This is how they get to their exam, and they'll be receiving this a few days before. Make sure your students are getting emails, by the way. If they're not, make sure they go check their contact information in AP Classroom. Make sure it's updated so they get these emails. But even if they don't, they can get it in AP Classroom. But they can click on this. Click on this link. It will take them to their exam, and they can start doing their exam. If they get logged out of their exam somehow, all they've got to do is go back to this e-ticket to click on it to get back into it. Okay, so if they accidentally close out. But let me give this a suggestion too, just so your students don't accidentally close out of their exam. You can pin a tab in Chrome. If they're using Chrome, right-click on it and say pin. That will actually make this so that they can't accidentally close out if they're going between screens. So just a suggestion on that one if they're using Chrome. Let's keep going though. Number 5, students need to log in 30 minutes before their test to pass security checks that the College Board has set up. So the College Board has set up security checks. They've suggested students get there 30 minutes in early. Tell your students not to get there at 4. If your students get there at 4 p.m. Eastern when our test starts, they're going to have to go through security checks. They're going to be late to their test. So have them get there early. They'll be logged in a waiting room. The exam simulator goes through all that. So have your students check that out. Okay. Number 6, if something comes up and your students can't get to the exam, okay, they have a conflict, they have something going on, they have the electricity goes off, whatever happens, they can't get there, they will automatically be rescheduled for the June date if they don't use their e-ticket. So tell them not to freak out about that. They can just not click on the e-ticket. They'll automatically be rescheduled and given a new e-ticket for June. If something goes wrong while they're taking the exam, there will be a form for them to fill out later on to request a makeup date that the College Board can approve for them. So just tell them to go through the exam, and there's a lot of different reasons that could happen, but to do that. Number 7. Okay, students will be able to get 5s on the exam without answering everything. So the College Board has made it clear that this exam will be long. It's designed so students cannot answer everything. They actually use the word cornucopia, meaning there are going to be a lot of different things that they can choose from to get points, and they need to scan through the exam, do what they can do to get the most points possible. So this is something we're going to have to train our students to do, not to be stressed out if they don't complete the exam, to set a timer to make sure that they upload what they have, and know that they're not going to answer everything, and that's okay. To find the things they can answer and make sure they can answer those things. Number 8, teachers. You can request a review and confirmation of scores for students who don't get at least a 3 on their AP exam because of this shorter format. So if you have a student that should have made a 3 and you look at their exam, you're like, well, because of the shorter format, something happened, they didn't get it. College Board, please review that. The College Board will go through and they will review that for you, and you'll have that option towards the end of May, so be on the lookout for that. But you can also let your students know that as well. Number 9, there are 3 ways and only 3 ways your students can submit. The students will sometimes say, well, can I do this? Just say no. These are the 3 ways the College Board has approved, and they risk their scores not counting if they do not submit in one of these 3 ways. Number 1, they can copy and paste a typed response. They can do this in an IDE that you want to use, Google Docs, a Word document, notes, whatever you want to use. But they can take that and copy and paste that directly into the exam site. You cannot type into the exam site, but you can copy and paste into the exam site. So that's number 1, okay? Number 2, they can type it out. They can download a doc or PDF or something like that and then upload that into the site. So they type it out, download a document, and upload it. Number 3, they can attach a photo of, and you can make this clear with them, of a handwritten response. It cannot be a screenshot of code. It cannot be typed code that they're submitting photos of. If you're submitting a photo, it can only be of handwritten responses. The College Board has made it clear. Any other photos will not be accepted. If they are typing it, it has to either be in a document format or it's copy and pasted. Okay, those are the only ways and the only 3 ways they can turn this in. And number 10. While there is a timer on this test that counts down for them, I've heard from several teachers out there that when they've tested this out, their students tend to ignore that because they get very involved in their tests and they might miss their upload time, especially knowing that our students probably will not complete this entire test. It's important for your students to keep track of their time. Suggest to your students to set a timer on their phone for 25 minutes, an audible timer that will go off so that they know to go back and look at the sites. If your students miss the time because they're involved, especially if they're handwriting code, because they're not looking at their computer, whatever it is, if your students miss this time, they will not be able to submit their answers, and if they do not get that, they get no credit. So they need to keep track of their time. Suggest they use a timer or something else to submit their code, or to keep track of their time that way. Okay, so these are the top 10 tips. Now, I wrote something about 2 weeks ago that have some other things your students need to know, that are 12 takeaways from the College Board that you need to know about the APCSA exam. If you did not see that, go check that out, clicking the links below. Again, these are the things your students, make sure they know these things. Our exam's coming up next week. Make sure our students are ready for the AP exam. Again, this is Adam Clay from Computer Science Teachers, and I will try to create one of these again next week just for a last thing that our students need to know. Make sure your students need to know this. Let's help them get them ready for this exam coming up.